Oh, my. So Adam Schiff now admits he should have been much more clear about how he unleashed the impeachment circus. Note, when a politician says they should be much more clear, they mean, I wish you hadn't caught me lying to your face.
I should have been much more clear, and I said so the minute it was brought to my attention that I was referring to the fact that when the whistleblower filed the complaint, we had not heard from the whistleblower. We wanted to bring the whistleblower in at that time, but I should have been much more clear about that.
You know, instead of trying to be clear, it might just save time if you just decided to be honest. Otherwise, it's like Hunter Biden saying that although he did nothing wrong, he's not going to do it anymore. Hunter says he's no longer going to work for China because we found out, he was working for China. So Schiff champions transparency, all the while saying the whistleblower might not testify because it's a safety concern, he maintains, because we all know CIA agents can't protect themselves against non-existent threats or that our government can't protect him from your Aunt Sally.
Our primary interest right now is making sure that that person is protected. Indeed, now there's more than one whistleblower that they are protected. And given that we already have the call record, we don't need the whistleblower who wasn't on the call to tell us what took place during the call. We have the best evidence of that. We want to make sure that we uncover the full details about the conditionality of either the military aid or that meeting with the Ukrainian president. It may not be necessary to take steps that might reveal the whistleblower's identity to do that.
Not necessary, so much for transparency. But like everything, the Dems haven't thought this through. So not only are you going to impeach Trump, you're going to do it in secret, in the dark, reversing an election based on hearsay from some anonymous guy you will never, ever see who has ties to Democrats. This is what the Dems stand for, and it might not sit well with half of America. And it's just another wide-eyed lie. Schiff knows with each passing day how absurd this story looks. So better to hide it from you. So the Dems must now rely on a simply moronic retort. If you want to know why we're impeaching the president, we're just going to have to impeach him to find out. It's garbage. They know it. We know it. The good news, you know it, too. So, do you want to see Tom Shalhoub did an amazing impression of Adam Schiff reading nursery rhymes?
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's do it, okay?
And now, Adam Schiff reads nursery rhymes.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Mr. Dumpty and his fondness for walls represent support of our corrupt president. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Clearly a reference to the fall of our democracy under President Trump.
That creeped the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Almost as much as the real Adam Schiff, Judge.
Well, yeah, he looks like Adam Schiff. But, the truth is that, why are they so worried about this whistleblower? That cracks me up. Didn't Obama fire the whistleblower in Fast and Furious?
I think so.
I mean, yeah, I'm telling you, he did. That was just a rhetorical question, okay?
I'm not used to having you over here.
Oh, you're not? And plus, Schiff lied. The guy used to try cases. Don't say you misspoke. You lied. You lied. You waited a month. You created a narrative. You got lawyers, started tweeting to tee it all up. You're a liar. That's the end of it.
Yeah, what about it?
The thing is, we protected Sammy the Bull Gravano. He killed 19 people, and he ratted out John Gotti.
Yeah.
I think the whistleblower is going to be fairly secure. It's obvious that Adam Schiff wants to protect himself. The secrecy that he craves is secrecy for himself. And he should.
I don't want to tell you how to do the GG show, but next time have him call to get the naked pictures of Trump. Oh. I think he would crush that impression. He did a very good job. And Adam Schiff looks good. His face looks nice and clean.
Yeah, he looks like he had a tune-up.
Really nice looking. He looks like he's trying to silence the whistleblower, Adam Schiff. I mean, what's the point now? Are you going to have a secret agent in the CIA come out and anonymously tee up a secret impeachment in dark behind America's back? That's what's going on here, because they don't want the American people to see what they're doing, and they don't want Republicans to ask, why were you guys in cahoots with each other, you and Adam Schiff's people? Why'd you lie on the forum when you said you had no contact with Congress? And great piece in the Washington Examiner, Dana.
Oh, Jesse, reading again.
Breaking news alert. Points out very interesting things about how this whole thing happened. Adam Schiff hired away 2 National Security Council officials from the Trump White House right before the guy blew the whistle. So he steals away 2 Obama Clinton people for the NSC. Then right the next month, all of a sudden the whistleblower comes to contact the committee that he just hired these guys from, and then the whistle is blown? Those are the kind of questions he doesn't want to have answered by Republicans.
Mm-hmm. You know, Dana, people say, it's a coup, but it doesn't look good if you're doing this behind the scenes and in the dark. It looks bad.
I think that the Democrats started to hear that. So they were on recess last week, and a lot of them did their town hall meetings. And you saw a few Democrats today, and I think there's only like 7 who are not on board for impeachment. But there were more that came back from those town halls saying, you know, I think that we should have the vote. We should make sure that it's fair. We should want them to have that. And you start to see that their tone has changed a little bit on that.
Let's go to that Trump tweet about Hunter Biden and discuss Hunter's next move. This isn't the one I wanted. You're fired, whoever this is. It was the tweet about Hunter.
When they find that, can I just say that I urge the president not to cooperate. He's cooperating much too much as it is.
Yeah.
Unless and until there is a hearing, or a vote rather, on the impeachment inquiry, there should be no cooperation by the White House. There was a vote for Nixon in '74, a vote for Clinton in '98. There should be a vote for President Trump right now in 19. The fact that they are proceeding without a vote in secret makes this a star chamber. It is absolutely intolerable. The president should just stiff on them.
So you're saying he shouldn't have released the transcript?
No, the transcript is fine. What he should do is no witnesses, nobody in the cabinet. I don't understand why there's a trickle out now of certain witnesses that are, what's his name, Sondland on Thursday. I mean, why? Why cooperate at all if they don't believe in their own damn impeachment enough to have a formal vote on the inquiry? Then the hell with them. That's what I say.
I don't know if you guys saw, but I think Rashida Tlaib says that she's discussing with other Democrats about imprisoning White House officials who refuse to go up to this secret hearing that they're having.
Yeah, and not only the thing is that that's just not how any of this works. I mean, but she said that at a town hall because she got all ginned up and she was trying. Like,
she was drunk?
Ginned up?
That's not what that means.
It doesn't.
That's it?
Yeah, ginned up. Drinking a lot of gin.
Yeah.
Dana, that's quite a smear.
Are you joking?
Of all people here, Dana has to apologize.
Very saucy.
Wow.
Very saucy.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
Can I? There was do we have a tweet on Hunter Biden? Yes. Anyway, Trump said, wow, Hunter Biden is being forced to leave a Chinese company. Now watch the fake news wrap their greasy and very protective arms around him. Only softball questions of him, please.
Right.
Okay. Is Hunter being treated fairly or unfairly?
Hunter is being treated as though he is a patrician above us all. You know, people worry about a double standard in the justice system. If I were to try this case against Hunter Biden, the first thing I'd do would be to put up a statement of his father and then do a timeline of when his father was appointed the point man for energy in Ukraine and China. And this guy has got all kinds of problems with his own personal demons. I understand we're not supposed to talk about those.
Really?
And, you want to talk about him?
You can't talk about addiction?
Yeah, sure.
You can't talk about getting thrown out of the Navy?
He got thrown out of the Navy with dirty urine. I mean, cocaine. I mean, now the guy's getting a $1.5 billion from the Chinese. They don't give you anything. It was because he used his father's position. That's corruption.
One of the things that them coming out and saying that he's no longer going to do it, right? It looks bad.
Does that mean that he shouldn't have done it while his father was vice president?
Well, not only that,
give the money back.
But Joe Biden also last week had said that he would have a policy that if he becomes president, he would have nobody in his family would work in the White House. Well, is that true for his vice president?
Yeah.
Because that would be the actual parallel. The other thing is for tomorrow night when the debate happens, basically Biden has said, don't do it. Don't ever come towards me. But he has ensured, because Hunter Biden's doing this interview tomorrow, it'll be the first question. He'll probably get applause for his response. And then unless any of those other 2020 Democrats come after him, that will be the first headline. And it'll be Biden taking on Trump on impeachment, where he probably should have been all along.
And they have to get on the same page. Hunter says, I talked to my father. My father said I never talked to him. So which one is it, Joe? I mean, either ignorant or you're corrupt. I don't know which one's more dangerous.
I think Hunter's got a name for his book, though. From Hunter to Hunted.
Ooh. Coming out.
Like it.
Yes. My life is a hard partying grifter.